Ok, and we are live. ¿Qué tal, amigos? Espero que todos estáis bien hoy. Martes, Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Spain mainland time, 6:30 p.m. of course down there in the Canary Islands. And we're going to have a look at some of the stories that have caught my attention today and a few comments that were left on yesterday's video, or the day before's video, let's say. All right, we've got plenty of action already in the chat section, which is good to see. Gino coming in from Toronto asking a question. Is the government giving any sort of rebate at the moment when it comes to solar panels? The answer is it depends where you are, Gino, because the rebates and the tax incentives are being offered by the let me think about this. They're being offered by the autonomous communities, but they're also being handled by the local councils. So it depends where you are. Where I am, Gino, we had some discounts when it comes to solar panels, but I don't think they're still in place. There was something like a 5-year period where you would get a discount on your house, on your home tax, what they call here the EBI, if you put solar panels on the roof. But I think those subvenciones, or those grants, let's say, have dried up. But it depends where you are in Spain, whether or not your local council is offering incentives. But there are incentives at different levels, Gino, let's say. Okay, hope that answers the question. Tobias coming in from Spain still. Mark coming in. Sent a link, says Mark, over regarding hunting. Not sure if you've got it or of any interest. I'm not sure. Where did you send it to, Mark? I think I might have seen a message through Facebook. If that's the case, let me know. I didn't see an email or a Twitter or anything, or a tweet or anything like that. So if it is through Facebook, let me know. I haven't checked it out yet, but I did see a notification. So thanks for that. All right, we're up to 29 likes. I'll just put the little like icon up on the screen. So if you haven't hit the like button, please do so just below the video. Let me know what the sound's like, if the sound quality is okay today. And let me know if all is well where you are today in the world. Adam coming in from New Jersey. Babs coming in from Wales. Linda coming in from the States, I think. Erica coming in from Terrassa. Temperatures are still high after the storms there, says Erica. What else we got going on here? Andrew coming in from southeast London. Hope I am well, or hope we are all well. Thank you for that, Andrew. Bill coming in from York, UK. Ronald coming in from San Diego. And Maura coming in from County Donegal. All regular viewers on these live streams, which is good to see. Now we'll get straight into the first piece of news today. And it's this one here. Brussels refuses to support MidCat and leaves it in the hands of Spain and France. If the Spanish government was hoping for a signal, a message of support from Brussels to try to unblock the energy interconnections with France, it can sit back and wait after the criticism of the French president, Emmanuel Macron, who on Monday closed the door on the MidCat project once again, assuring that it was not a priority or of a particular interest to his country or the continent. The European Commission has today clearly taken a low profile on the issue, ruling out meddling, putting pressure, or taking even a slight position. We cannot give a specific position at this stage, said Commission Energy spokesman Tim McPhee at midday today. It is necessary for the member states and the promoters of the idea to make progress in the analysis of the feasibility of the project, and then we will be able to give our opinion on a precise project, he added. So there we go. We saw yesterday, I think it was, Mr. Macron saying that, in his opinion, it's not a good idea, this MidCat gas pipeline, which would cross France into Germany, taking gas from Portugal and Spain and sending it to Germany. 9-10 months, I think, is the time frame that Spain thinks they can get this thing built. But of course, France is in the way, and it doesn't look as though it's going to happen through France. The Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez said last week that he had an alternative to send the gas through Italy, but I don't think he has Italy on board either. And as we saw there, the European Union stepping back, not taking sides, and is going to wait and see if the two countries can sort the issues out. So again, the European Union not ruling in favour, or not giving its support to neither France nor Spain on this issue, which is typical, let's say, of the European Union. They don't like to get involved in these things. They like to let the sovereign states take care of them for themselves. But I'm sure if things start to get tense, the European Union will get involved. But could be too late by then, who knows? Because I think Mr. Macron is looking for a more renewable energy source coming from Spain and Portugal rather than gas, which he thinks will cause environmental problems and not really a long-term solution. I think that's what he is looking for. Makes sense, but it doesn't solve a short-term problem, as we know. All right, what else we got going on here? Alan, as usual here, what will I have the green screen today? The answer is no, Alan. It's on its way. I got a little message earlier today saying that it will be delivered tomorrow, so hopefully on Thursday I can get maybe not a green screen because I've got to check that out, test that out, but I could have a different colour on Thursday. Time will tell, Alan. Elaine coming in from New Jersey. Kathleen coming in from don't know where, but looking forward to the chat. And Julia coming in from Valladolid. We're up to 64 likes, so I'll just put the little like icon back on the screen. So hit the like button just below the video, please, to keep me motivated while I sit here reading the news. Now let's have a look at the second piece of news today. Also related to gas, and as we can see here, Spain was the world's largest importer of Russian gas by ship in July and August. The drastic cut in Russian gas shipments by pipeline to the European Union contrasts with the evolution of sales by ship to the bloc's westernmost partners in July and August. Spain was the country in the world that bought the most liquefied natural gas, LNG, the one that arrives by sea, from Russia. Spanish importers transferred more than 747 million euros to Russian energy companies, according to the data published on Tuesday by the Center for Research on Energy and Clean Air, the environmental think tank, which periodically counts Moscow's income from energy sales since the beginning of the war. Ranks France, which paid 600 million euros for this item, and China, 727 million euros next. And we can see here why Spain is importing this gas. The recent increase in Spanish imports is influenced by several factors. The first is structural, the wide availability of regasification plants in Spain, which are essential to return the LNG that travels by ship to a gaseous state. The second is the considerable increase in electricity generation by burning natural gas. The use of this fuel in Spanish combined cycle plants has almost doubled so far this year. So Spain creating a lot of electricity by burning gas, which, as we can see here, is coming from Russia. And there are stories in the paper today that the European Union, according to some press outlets here, is financing Russia's invasion of Ukraine because they're still buying gas from Russia. And of course, Russia is using that money to finance the war and to stop the country from going into economic decline, apparently, from what I've read, because of the sanctions that have been imposed by the United States, the European Union, on Russia. So a little bit hard to understand. We saw yesterday that Spain, was it yesterday or the day before, Spain is getting gas also from fracking from the United States and importing gas here from Russia like there's no tomorrow. And as we saw there in that article, the largest importer of Russian gas by ship in July and August, outdoing France and China. So there we go. Difficult to make sense, for me at least anyway. What else we got going on here in the chat section? 1978 Ask. Good evening, everyone from Valencia. Arrived here after a 2-week trip. Let's have a look here at this comment. In the green north and struggling to adjust to the heat now. Que calor. I'm missing the cool breeze in the Santander. It's the problem, isn't it, 1978, when you go to the north of Spain in the summer months and everything's cool, get a nice sea breeze off that ocean up there or the sea up there, and you hit Valencia, the humidity, the heat, and bang, it slaps you in the face, which I'm sure is what's happening there in Valencia with the humidity and the hot weather. Here in Madrid, it's not too bad. As I said the other day, quite good weather at the moment, and I would, sign a piece of paper right now if we could have this weather all year round in Madrid. Cool mornings, reasonably good afternoons, not too hot, and easy to sleep at night, which, as we know, is fundamental. All right, what else we got going on here? Mugger coming in from Campello. Yogi coming in from London. Raining there, he says. Mark getting back to me. It was through Facebook. I don't check Facebook all that often, Mark. That's the reason why I don't see a lot of those messages immediately. But I think I did see a notification, so I will check it out today. Thanks. All right, good. Yogi, do you pay a form of council tax? What does this look like in Madrid? Yeah, you do pay a council tax. It's called IBI, Impuesto de Bienes Inmobiliarios, I think it is. IBI, IBI. In Portugal, it's IMI with an M, Spain with a B. And it's a council tax depending on where you are, what type of property that you have. But it can range anywhere from 400 to 1,000 plus euros, depending, as I said, on the size of the property that you have. Yogi, that is the council tax per year. All right, good out. What else we got going on here? Ricardo coming in from London as well. Won't stop raining. Apparently there. Loud and clear says Del Bosque B. Paul Brady, buenas tardes, from a rainy evening. Stan coming in from Poland. Back in Poland today, Stan. Gets around a bit, does Stan. Always seems to be in a different location. Ray coming in from the UK most likely. Breezy Madrid, says Dave. St. Pete to Madrid, breezy afternoon today. True, the breeze coming in from the Sierra, I think, Dave. Bit quite breezy. Not good for the dust. What else we got going on here? Morris coming in. How's the ice situation? Has it been restored to normality? I think so, Morris. I think it has. Where I live here in Madrid, supermarkets have removed the limits that they had in place. I think there were like 2-bag or 3-bag limits in place. They seem to have gone. But I was speaking to somebody yesterday who did say that there were still some problems getting ice. But I can't remember where this person was, whether it was in Madrid or somewhere else in Spain. So there could be some ice problems still in some parts of Spain, but not here anymore, fortunately. But you can always buy an ice maker, which is a decent solution. A decent solution are the ice makers. You can pick one up for around 140 euros, I think, or even cheaper, maybe in Aldi or Lidl or one of those places. You can get them on special. Quite good. All right, what else we got going on here? City fan coming in from Barcelona, and Spanish Magpie coming in from Altea. Let's have a look at this one here. Haven't missed a video since Feb 2021 when I planned to move to Spain. Moved to Spain in June 21. Thank you for all the hard work. Much appreciated. Thank you very much, Spanish Magpie, for following the channel. All right, we'll have a look at the third piece of news today. The third piece of news, the fourth slide. And it's this one here about the story of a house owner in Murcia who evicted squatters. And apparently he could face jail time for this eviction. It is exactly 1 week since the public appearance of the video on which Victor, the owner of a house in El Esparragal, and his friends evicted the squatters who lived there with baseball bats in their hands. During these 7 days, the issue of squatting in Murcia has been reopened, and the consequences that a homeowner who decides to take the matter into his own hands and remove the people who are squatting his house can face. The resident of El Esparragal told this newspaper that at all times his actions were very measured. No bat was raised high. No aggression was carried out. No one was insulted. The loudest thing that was said was, well, you can see what the loudest thing that was said was. I won't repeat it on the channel in case I get censored, but we can get an idea of the level of aggression, the vocal aggression that the homeowner down there in Murcia used to get these people out of his home, and a luxury home it was indeed. And I've got a video here. I saw the video on Twitter. Somebody was recording it, as people normally do nowadays. And so I'll put this on the screen now. There's no sound, so I might narrate it myself. But let's have a look at the moment when these squatters were evicted by 3 men with bats. We can see here that they've already managed to get the people out. As we can see, a nice 2-story home there, quite spacious. Nice glass windows there, plenty of light coming in. We can see the owner of the home there with baseball bat in hand, and the other people here arguing with the squatters, and there they are coming out, probably maybe having a swim in the pool by the look of it there, but they managed to get them out. And as we saw, the most violent it got apparently was using some pretty harsh language. I think the Spanish equivalent was "Vete a tomar por el culo," which is what you could hear in the video, which, as we saw, is on Twitter. But apparently this is not the thing that people should be doing, becoming vigilantes to get these people out of your home if it does happen. And this man, as we saw, could be facing jail time if the people that he removed complained to the police, which I think they will do, that there was some type of aggression involved. Maybe there was no physical aggression, as we saw, but of course if somebody comes in to your home with a baseball bat, well, not to your home, sorry. If somebody breaks into where you are with a baseball bat, even if it is not your home, I think you are still protected. And I saw one judge comment on this, and he says that if you get mugged, let's say you're in Madrid or Barcelona and somebody mugs you and steals your watch, and you manage to catch them and you beat them up, you go to prison because you're taking the law into your own hands. And I think this is what's going to happen to this gentleman here, unless the judge sees the situation differently. But the ugly topic of squatters again rearing its head, and of course now with social media you can see these vigilante evictions taking place in real time. So there we go. All right, good. What else we got going on here in the chat section? Patrick coming in from Caspe. What else we got going here? Benny Hoffard, not sure how you pronounce that one. Alma. Alan coming in from Beleth, Malaga. Another regular viewer here. Alan, hope all is well today. And checking in from a breezy Madrid, says Christine, as we saw Dave say a minute ago. And agreeing with me, I think here the last few days have been such a relief. If we could only bottle this year round. Absolutely, Christine, absolutely. I would love that to be able to happen, to get this weather all year round. It would be fantastic, but unfortunately in a couple of weeks time it will be cold. Chris coming in from the Bay del Sol, and D coming in let's have a look at this question here. How's Spain handling COVID these days with Omicron on the horizon? Any chance that Spain will close its borders again? No, D, I don't think that is going to happen. I think COVID is, not a thing of the past because it's still out there, but I don't think there's any government talk of shutting borders down again. I don't think so. In fact, just this week, all remaining restrictions at school were removed when it comes to dining rooms and space between desks and all of those things. So they're removing all of these restrictions and rules that were in place in 2020 and 2021. So I don't think that we're going to go back to that. But anyway, let's have a look here. 102 likes. So I'll just pop the little like button back on the screen here. So hit that like button, please, just below the video if you have not done so already. Now, we'll have a look at the first comment that was left on yesterday or maybe the day before's video, not sure. Let's have a look. From Brian, and he says, with the rising cost of electricity, there's not a lot of information on solar panels, on having them fitted on roofs. I know there used to be a sun tax in Spain, but I wonder if there is much of a saving after the cost of installation. Perhaps some of your viewers have them. Brian La Marina. We spoke about this at the beginning of the video today, Brian, and according to where you are in Spain, there are some incentives to put these solar panels on your roof. And I have seen that a lot of solar panels are quite heavily discounted at the moment as well, because there was a lot around in the market earlier in the year. And there's still a lot of people putting them on their roofs nowadays as well. And I'm sure lots of people watching the video will have solar panels here in Spain. Is it worth your while? It depends if you, down there in Alicante, you don't need heating. But here in Madrid, for example, if you've got electrical heating, it does make sense to put solar on the roof. If you've got gas heating, no. And the reason I say that is because obviously the only thing that you're going to be able to use the solar electricity for is when you plug the boiler into the wall. That's the only effect that you're going to get. But if you've got electrical heating, it would come in handy to have solar panels on the roof, I think. Again, how much energy do they use? I have no idea. But and with the discount that you've got on VAT on electricity and with solar on the roof, probably you would see an impact on your electricity bill. Gas VAT is also being reduced, I think, as of next month, October. So that's going to be beneficial for some. But again, it all depends on your electricity needs. Here we thought about it, but because we've got gas heating and we don't have air conditioning or anything like that, we don't have a huge expense when it comes to electricity. Didn't think that it was worth it, but a lot of neighbours in the neighbourhood have, in order to get that discount on their EBI, on their council tax, on their housing tax. So I think it just depends, Brian, on your personal situation, whether or not you've got a big electricity bill and you want to try and bring it down. If you can get a subsidy through the local council or maybe the Valencian government, it could be worth your while to put those solar panels on the roof. And just look on the internet. There's plenty of people offering the service currently, Brian. All right, good. Now we'll go back into the chat section here. Enjoying the weather. It's raining in Bolton, says Julie. Sorry to hear that, Julie, but again, in that part of the UK, I think, is quite rainy. Tony in Cuenca saying that it's all about money. People and lives don't matter. Obviously talking about the gas imports from Russia here in Spain. Alan asking the question, is there any fracking in Spain? No, there is not, Alan, because it is illegal. The government last year in 2021 made fracking illegal, but it does pop up in the press every now and again as a way to not fix Spain's energy problems, but a way to help the energy problems. Ross joining late again, no problem. Alan, Chris replying to Alan, fracking is illegal in Spain. I think it is. I think I read that the other day, and I mentioned it on the channel that the government in 2021, the current government, prohibited fracking. What else we got going on here? Noah, thank you. Thank you for watching. Sue coming in a bit late. Arrived in Madrid today from Michigan. Hope all went well there, Sue, with that trip. And Ivan saying the house owner is facing jail is awful. What is happening in Spain? Don't know, but it's a controversial piece of news, Ivan, that one. Darren asking the question here, with the UK set to announce more borrowing, what's the situation in Spain and what are the Spanish state taxes for residents? Not sure exactly here. What you mean with the situation when it comes to borrowing? Well, the government has borrowed money, I think, to the maximum it is allowed to at the moment. A lot of debt here in Spain. And when it comes to Spanish taxes for residents, it depends whether you're working or not, but there are different tax regimes according to the type of visa that you have when you live here in Spain. All right, good. But if anybody else has better information for Darren, please let him know. All right, what else we got going on here? Mark coming in. Hello, Mark. Luis A. Guzman from Puerto Rico. He'll be in Spain from September the 11th to the 25th. Granada, Seville, and Madrid. Wife is dying to have a paella. Any recommendations? Luis, those places that you're going to, there are not traditional paella cities, but you will be able to find a good paella probably in Madrid at least. There are some good paella restaurants. In Seville, no doubt, as well, and Granada, but not the traditional paella places in the country. If you want an authentic paella, I think you have to go to the Levante coast. Probably a place like Alicante, Valencia, Murcia do good paellas or rice dishes. But those cities you will be able to get one, but I can't guarantee the quality. But in Madrid, I think you should be able to get a decent rice dish or paella if you like. All right, what else we got going on here? Still hot but not unbearable in Seville, says Sam. Thank you very much for that, Sam. Similar to here, I think. The weather is cooling and just going to prove that September, the best month, in my opinion, to visit this country. If anybody's planning a holiday, I think September is the best month weather-wise at least. All right, another comment. Let's have a look from Tim. Spain is well placed to install solar panels in large areas, say in the less inhabitable parts of Murcia, and offshore wind turbines could, and I suggest should, be built on the Atlantic seaboard of both Spain and Portugal. Whether it would be possible or practical for Spain and Portugal to produce more electrical power than they themselves needed and in some way transport this is outside my knowledge. Outside mine as well, Tim. But yeah, there are big solar panel plants going up all around Spain. Coming back the other day through Extremadura, I saw one which was huge, and I imagine that more and more are going up now that it is feasible for people to do it. Before, of course, that the solar tax was in place, so it wasn't really worth people's while to put solar panels or convert their land into solar farms. But now it is happening because that solar tax has been removed and there are incentives to do it. And Spain is looking to increase its renewables. So it could be a good time to invest in that. If you've got a vacant piece of land in Spain, whack some solar panels on it. All right, good. No sun tax anymore. Exactly. I think we said that. There's no sun tax anymore. It disappeared. One of the first things that the current government did was get rid of the sun tax. Never understood why there was a sun tax in place in the first place, but there was. Hey, what can we say? All right, what else we got going on here? Very dodgy way to handle squatters in Spain. From Andrew, this comment. Things can turn quite nasty. Speaking from experience, looking after 200 apartments here in Granada. Thanks for the first-hand experience there, Andrew. And you're right, things can turn very nasty, especially with the type of squatter that you have in your home. Obviously, those people that we saw there in that video were caught off guard, but you wouldn't want to go in there at the wrong time, I don't think. You will surely get into a fight. But again, people do take these things, these situations, into their own hands. James coming in from Arizona. Susan, the first time here. Thank you very much for joining, Susan. Ted asking people for likes, something that I do as well. And Brahms coming in. Have I ever ridden a horse? Don't know where that question comes from, Brahms. And the answer is yes, I have ridden a horse, if that interests you. All right, good. Now, we're up to 135 likes. We'll see if we can get to 150 today. I'll put the little like icon up on the screen. So if you haven't hit the like button just below the video, please do so. A few minutes to go. What are we up to? 27? We'll go a little bit longer today, I think, than the other day, depending on the chats and the activity there. So if you've got something to say or ask, please put it into the chat section. Now, the next comment, let's have a look here from Manisha. Hi, I will be visiting Spain in October from India. Will travel be free from Barcelona to Madrid, Valencia to Seville, or Madrid to Granada? I checked in Renfe, but the website doesn't work well, and I was scared to wait till I am there since ticket prices will increase if it's not free. Shall I get a Eurail pass for these places if these are not free? Okay, Manisha, simply put, the free transport in Spain is for people that commute regularly. It's a commuter deal, okay? So if you're living in one of those cities there, let's say Madrid, and you want to travel every day to a place like Cuenca, I think, or Toledo, I think free transport is available because you have to do a certain amount of trips per month in order for it to become free. Cercanías, which is also a type of inter-city or inter-urban rail system that we have here in Spain that joins outer cities with big cities. For example, here in Madrid, there's a good Cercanías. In Barcelona, it's called Rodalies, I think. In other Spanish cities, there are Cercanías, which are also free for people that use it regularly. But people like yourself that are just coming here on holiday, to travel from Barcelona to Madrid is not free. To travel from Madrid to Valencia is not free. And to travel from Seville to Madrid is not free. However, there are discounts available. For example, if you are between 14 and 25, you can get a discount. If you are over 62 or something like that, you can get a discount on Renfe. But unless you're a serious commuter and you're going to be using the same route or the same line quite often, it's not free. Okay, so don't worry about that. You have to pay like everybody else, but it's not that expensive, I don't think, to hop on a train from Madrid and travel to Barcelona or vice versa. It might even be cheaper to take a plane, so look into that as well. But there are different transport options, and you've always got buses which can take you to those cities as well, which could be the cheapest option if you're looking for cheap travel there, Murcia. So hopefully I have answered your question there. Should you get a Eurail pass? Yeah, maybe. If you can get one of those, why not? But it's not going to be free. All right, good. What else we got going on here in the chat section? Let's have a look here. Let's see if I can find this here. Chris saying that fracking is illegal in Spain, but apparently it's not illegal to import frack gas from the USA. That's what we saw the other day, Chris, exactly. A lot of people questioning the morality behind that move here in Spain. Banned, but they'd have no problem getting it from the US of A. Thailand Digital Nomad. Chico's in Granada is excellent for rice dishes. Could be the case. You might be able to get a nice rice dish in Chico's in Granada. Granada. But again, it wouldn't be the authentic Valencian or Alicante paella or rice dishes that you get down there. All right, good. Brian's in the chat section here as well. I think we saw a comment from Brian before talking about the taxes that he pays. So that was answering somebody's question there before. Steve coming in. Stephen and Neil coming from Birmingham tomorrow to Torrevieja. Hope all goes well down there for you, Stephen. Hope you enjoy the trip. What else we got going on here? Andrew, gets a bit scary. Best left to the Guardia Civil. There we go, talking about removing those squatters. And Andrew, of course, has the experience of managing apartments in Granada. So be careful, because you never know who has squatted your home. All right, good. We'll have a look at another comment here. Sympathicism. The Costa del Sol and just inland is having the same problems. Young people can't leave home. Rents are too high now, and for some time, inland from the Costas now have the same problem as local Spanish are going for renting to tourists. Foreigners are buying up property to rent out for holidays, flooding the market. Yeah, this is a problem in different parts of the country, that locals are getting pushed out of the market because they can't afford to buy, can't afford to rent, because of these tourist properties that are popping up around the place. And we saw the other day that if you are renting, you rent your apartment out short term, it's a lot more lucrative than renting long term. But of course, you're going to have to do more maintenance if it's short term rentals, I think, because the sheer volume of people coming through, things getting broken, damaged, probably would be an issue. But it's happening on the Costa del Sol, it's happening in Catalonia, it's happening in Madrid. The tourist flats are taking over again. Supply and demand, lots of tourists, lots of tourist flats, and it gets harder for locals, unfortunately, to afford property, whether it be renting or buying. I had a conversation a few years ago with a young lady from Valencia who was working in one of the companies that I was giving classes in. And she told me that her generation had been pushed out of the property market in Valencia. She was from a town close to Valencia, which did have a big foreign resident population. And she said a lot of young people just can't afford to buy property there. And she indirectly said that the reason was because of the interest from foreign property. And another student that I have who is from Alicante told me that she went to a real estate agent in Alicante, and they weren't interested in her business because she was Spanish. She had to convince them to help her out, because the demand coming from northern European countries is so strong, and people come down basically with cash in pocket ready to buy. So not easy for some Spanish people, unfortunately, as I said, to get their hands on property in those areas where prices are pushed up by foreign buyers or foreign tourists when it comes to renting as well. So, bit of a shame. Okay, what else we got going on here in the chat section? Digital nomad visa back in the topic. today. I think it was there the other day. Maybe it was Dor who asked the question as well. Waiting for the digital nomads visa that is expected to be released this month. Can't wait to move to Spain. We'll see what the conditions are, and if indeed it is released this month, Dor. Some things are said that they're going to happen, but they get postponed for whatever reasons, and the government has a lot on its plate at the moment with the energy crisis, so maybe the digital nomad visa has been pushed onto the back burner, but hopefully it's not the case, and you will be able to move to Spain on this visa, and hopefully it will live up to expectations. Hopefully it will. All right, one final comment today. Let's have a look from Craig Miller. He says, coming to Madrid in November, is this a good time to visit? Well, you've come to the right place, because plenty of people in the chat section, of course, in Madrid, and know what the weather is like in November. In my opinion, it's not a bad month to visit. It's not the best. I think September, as I said a few minutes ago, is the best month. November can be a little bit cold, a little bit wet. Of course, where the daylight savings time has gone. Daylight saving time has gone, so the sun goes down a bit earlier in the evening, and doesn't come up until around 8:30 in the morning as well. So it can be a little bit dark, but the weather's not too bad in Madrid at that time of the year. Maybe you'll get some 14, 15, 16 degree days, or you could get 6, 7, 8, 9 degree days, depending on whether there's a cold front coming through. But not a bad time to visit Madrid. I would say visiting Madrid any time of the year, but in winter be prepared for cold weather, and in summer be prepared for hot weather. But it's not a bad city to visit 12 months of the year, in my opinion. But any further information there for Craig, from people living in Madrid, please let him know in the chat section or in a comment just below your opinion on the best time to visit the city that is Madrid, the capital of this country. Now, we're up to 36 minutes. I'm going to start to cut the video short. Let's see what's going on. City fans saying there are less tourist flats in Barcelona. However, there are many which are rented to rich students, causing havoc in the rental market for rooms. I think that happens in Madrid also. A lot of demand from students pushing the prices up as well, trying to get their hands on a room. Adam coming in. Sorry, he's late. No problem there, Adam. As we got going on here. Proud Brave one. The main difference between long and short-term renting from the owner point of view is that long-term renting is an extra and passive income. Short-term renting will become a part-time job, to say the least. Probably true, that's right. You've got to take care of cleaning or have that infrastructure in place to have cleaners available whenever people are coming through regularly, and also dealing with things like keys. You have to have a good setup. A lot of the places now have electronic entering ways to enter that are electronic. You just put in a pin on a keypad and the door opens. So it has got quite professional in that sense, but you're right, yeah, it does become a business, a day-to-day business, renting these short-term flats with all of the turnover that would come, whereas having the same people, if you get good tenants in, can be beneficial for a landlord as well, not only the economic side. All right, good. Now, I'm going to wrap the live stream up. Been a pleasure today. We got up to 167 likes, which is not too bad. I'll just put the little like icon back on the screen just in case you haven't hit that like button. Please do so just below the video. Get those likes up, which is always good. And I'll say thanks for the participation in the chat. Say thanks for the participation, people watching the video today or the live stream. Thank you very much for that. I'll be back again on Thursday. I might do a video tomorrow if I can find the time. I might do another shorts video, which are quite easy to do and are proving to be quite popular. So keep an eye out for those. I'll see everybody on Thursday for another live stream. Hasta entonces, hasta luego. Bye bye.